Hello and welcome to Audiobook Connection, behind the scenes with the creative teams. I'm Becky Parker Geist and I'm your host. Audiobook Connection is your place to learn about the audiobook creative process and for authors to learn valuable tips on producing and marketing your audiobooks. This podcast is sponsored by Pro Audio Voices, helping great stories come alive through audiobook production and marketing. Thanks so much for joining me today. So let me ask you a question. What if one decision could boost your audiobook's credibility, visibility, and long-term sales without changing a single word of your book? Let's talk about the benefit of entering your audiobook into awards. See, awards aren't just for big publishers. They're for indie authors as well, even if it is your only audiobook. And this is also a reminder that if you want to step into this audiobook award option, that it really matters that your production is high quality. So this is, again, where something I talk about a lot, which is preparing to leverage your audiobook for your overall success. This is yet another way in which making those powerful decisions early on to make sure that your audiobook is the very best that it can be. This is one of the things that will impact or create an opportunity for you later down the road once it's produced. So if you are thinking, awards, are they even worth it for indie authors? They absolutely are. And when you have a high-quality audiobook, you definitely should consider entering it for awards. Here's why. Because awards, they're like visibility amplifiers, right? They get you out in front of an audience, not just in the room when you're actually receiving the award, but with all the publicity that goes with the organization that is offering the awards, right? So they do a lot of publicity around the awards events. That's to their best benefit and to yours. And then also the ability for you to use it as a finalist, as a nominee, and as an award winner, ideally, hopefully, right? Then these are great opportunities for you as well, because not only will the organization be shouting that out to the world online, but you can as well. And one of the great things about this is it's not just you talking about how great your audiobook is. It's really third-party validation. It's an organization with judges that are saying, yes, this one is great. And that builds instant trust with listeners. Some listeners actively seek out the award-winning audiobooks to listen to. And why wouldn't they? They've already been vetted as some of the best that are out there. So these awards can help your audiobook stand out in what is, as we all know, a very crowded market, right? So this is all about discoverability. And, on top of that recognition, it feels really good. It affirms your creative work and that your creative work matters. And I'm not talking about ego, right? I'm just talking about giving your audiobook a bigger stage. Let the light shine on it. Let it be in the spotlight, and you can be there with it. So again, one of the first things that really you benefit from with an award is this credibility boost, right? So award winning does carry some weight. It carries some weight in marketing copy, in ads, on audiobook platforms that allow you to post that, like Amplify Audiobooks does. And in fact, on Amplify Audiobooks, we will be having, not sure if it'll be live by the time that this podcast episode goes live, but it's something that's actively in development, is that listeners will be able to search on the platform specifically by award winning. And that will help you as well if you are an award winner. Well, the only way to become an award winner is if you enter. And I do recommend that you enter multiple contests. Now, there are generally fees that are associated with each entry. And so you'll want to probably create a spreadsheet to map out what the costs would be and what the visibility of each of those, sort of rank them, and then decide what's going to be best for you. It is possible to overdo it only in regard to what might be your budget. So you'll want to factor that in, whatever your budget is, and make appropriate decisions. But enter in places where it makes sense for you. The other thing about credibility and the boost that winning an award gives you is that it helps your listeners choose your audiobook faster. When they see that, they automatically there is a little, sort of green flag that goes off, that raises up because they recognize that it is recognized publicly as an award winner. In addition to this credibility boost, it gives you some additional marketing power. Being an award winner is easy content for social media posts, for email announcements, for press releases. All of these things really get a big boost in marketing because everyone loves to hear about award winners. And it also then creates momentum for relaunch campaigns. Or it could even be if you're releasing, let's say, another book in a series that's in the same series, or a different format of this same book that you won for the audiobook. These are all really valuable bits of credibility that you can use for your marketing. And then it can really help you with increasing sales and turning visitors into customers. So those conversions, because it is, again, that social proof. You have that higher listener confidence, which leads to more purchases. And then there's just the industry recognition. It can open doors for you to different kinds of collaborations with other authors, for example. And these kinds of collaborations can be facilitated on the Amplify Audiobooks platform, where you can connect with other authors who are maybe writing in the same genre, may have the same target audience that you do. When you're an award-winning author, that is very appealing and makes that connection easier. It can also open doors to speaking engagements if that's something that you're interested in. People love to bring in award-winning speakers. It can also open the doors to things like being a guest on podcasts. When you can reach out to a podcast host and say, hey, my audiobook won this award, and, I feel like it would be a good fit for your podcast, and you explain why, that's a good kind of extra boost for that outreach. And it positions you as a thought leader in your niche. Being an award winner is so valuable in so many different ways. And the key is to actually use the win in all the different ways that are going to move you forward toward your goals overall. And another really cool thing about winning awards is it really sets you up with a long-term asset that has value. So your awards, while they're awarded at a specific point in time for a specific year, they don't expire. So it's part of you and your story and your brand forever. Your audiobook will always be an award-winning audiobook, regardless of what year it won in. So you're really building that asset. You're increasing the value of that asset. Let's take a short pause. We'll come right back and we'll talk about some strategic advantages. So that's where it gets really fun. We'll be right back. Okay, real talk. What if your audiobook platform actually helped you sell your audiobook? I mean, actually helped you. Like email templates and tools, promo campaigns, discount codes, listener insights, ways to connect with other authors for cross promotions, and to connect with listeners, where you can host events or even run an audiobook club with a built-in community that's excited to discover new voices. That's Amplify Audiobooks. You see, it's not just a place to list your audiobook in hopes of a transaction. No, it's a place to market it, to grow your audience and actually connect with listeners who care. You can run promotions, engage your fans, and be part of a creative community that's all about lifting up indie authors and small publishers, not burying them in an algorithm somewhere. Oh, and yeah, you'll also earn 2 to 4 times more royalties than the usual platforms. How about that? So, if you're ready to stop whispering into the void and start building real momentum, head over to amplifyaudiobooks.com. Amplify Audiobooks, where your stories don't just live, they thrive. Okay, let's jump into what are some strategic advantages or plans where you can really benefit, where you can put into play the award as part of your marketing strategy. So this is where it gets nice and juicy. All right, so awards give you a reason to re-promote your audiobook. Obviously, if you entered the award, your audiobook has already launched. Awards, winning each award, gives you another reason to re-promote your audiobook. That is such great marketing content. And it can be great for, let's say, if you're extending your launch, you're just maybe on a long launch ramp up, it can be great as part of that. You can use it as part of a seasonal campaign. You can also bundle or do some special pricing. And that is where it's especially valuable to be on platforms like Amplify, where you control that pricing. So you can, for example, you could do a campaign, a promotional campaign where, hey, I just won this award, or the audiobook just won this award. We're putting it on special for these 2 days. Get it now on Amplify Audiobooks for this amount off. That is a kind of marketing approach that you could use to do special pricing when you win an award. And again, just a reminder that Amplify Audiobooks is such a great place where it's such a great marketing platform because you have all these tools connected to your audiobook. And you can use those tools such as the discount codes, the pricing, but also things like being able to feature yourself as an author or to spotlight your audiobook as a featured audiobook. Those are options for you on Amplify Audiobooks that are not available anywhere else. So, as an example, let's say you win a SOVAS Award, that's Society of Voice, Arts, and Sciences. Let's say you win an award for your audiobook and press releases go out, and some of which you're sending out, some of which SOVAS is sending out, and you're recognized as a winner on that with that award ceremony. And that seems like that would be the perfect moment, doesn't it, to have your audiobook featured on the Amplify Audiobooks platform. Because the extra attention that you're getting through the marketing about the award is drawing people to the platform where now your audiobook is right there at the top of the page in front of them. It just screams, this is a great audiobook that you need to listen to. So get your copy today. And when you're putting out that marketing about, hey, I just won this award and it's showing my audiobook is featured over here on Amplify Audiobooks, you can start to see how that award buzz, together with the featuring, possibly with pricing, putting it on sale as well, and with that, combined with the higher royalties that you earn through Amplify audiobooks, you're not only driving that traffic in some really great ways, but you're also earning so much more from each sale that actually happens. And then with the community building tools, as people are listening to the audiobooks and posting their reflections, and you can comment, and that you'll be able to connect with them ongoing, can you start to get a glimpse of how that can grow your audience in such a deep way? Many times we talk a lot about how do we find our audience, how do we build our audience, and initially that audience build tends to be on a fairly superficial level in that they see, who you are, a little bit of something about who you are or what your books are about, and there's some interest. Through the Amplify Audiobooks platform, because it is built with this set of tools to nurture these relationships between authors and their listeners, the depth that grows from that is incredibly powerful. You may have heard people talk, as I have on some other episodes, talk about superfans. And this is almost like an incubator for superfans because they really get to know you. And we really want to help the people that we know, right? So the combination of the awards, the marketing that goes with those press releases that can go out, the marketing tools that you have on Amplify audiobooks, all of these start to come together in some really amazing ways. So, again, strongly encouraging you to take advantage of this collection, this combination of options that are available to you. So, let's talk about what are some of those top audiobook awards that are available to you, assuming you're an indie author. Okay? The first one that most people think about are the Audie Awards, and these are some of the most prestigious audiobook awards that are out there. There are categories for the narration, the production, the different genres of audiobooks. It is a very competitive set of awards, and most of the time it is they do tend to go to publishers over independent authors, but indie authors do sometimes win, and it can definitely be worth entering. Another one is the IBPA, the Independent Book Publishers Association Benjamin Franklin Awards, and they have more than one audiobook category, and so those can be really good. They have a very strong reputation in indie publishing. I highly recommend becoming a member of IBPA. It's a wonderful organization, and I do recommend their awards for audiobooks as well as other categories. I mentioned the SOVAS Awards, Society of Voice Arts and Sciences, and audiobooks are one of the categories within their set of awards. Many of them are not audiobooks, but that is a place that you could consider with a strong audiobook. Also, very high profile and prestigious award. And then we have the Forward Indies Book of the Year Awards. So these are recognizing indie authors and publishers. They do have audiobook entries and can be really excellent for literary and niche titles. There's the Independent Press Award, which has an audiobook category as well. There's the Voice Arts Awards, and they honor narration and voice performance. So if you have a really excellent narrator, that might be a really good option for you. Remember that in a situation like that, where you've got a really strong narrator, they can carry your book into the spotlight with their good work when you use these awards in this way. There's also the Next Generation Indie Book Awards. They're one of the largest indie book awards programs, and they do include audiobook categories as well. And they have a real broad genre coverage. Okay, coming back to the question of how do I decide which awards to enter? Because honestly, there are lots of different places where you can enter your audiobook. So you want to make sure that you're entering into reputable entry awards programs and that you're not overspending, because most of us work on a budget, and the entry fees for the different awards, they vary. So you'll want to take a look at what's most important to you, what can you afford, what seems reasonable, what do you feel like you probably have a good chance of winning, and that's a hard one, so don't stress about that. But it's good to go for it when you have a good, high-quality audiobook. So if you're looking mostly for credibility, you may want to look more at those higher profile awards. If you're looking more for visibility, then using the indie-focused awards might be a better choice for you, or you can go for both. Genre fit does matter, so you want to make sure that you're entering something that's appropriate. And check out the rules and regulations. Some will need to be, I think many of them, if not all, you have to have published within a certain time frame. So when your audiobook went live, that is the date that is going to need to fit within their constraints. What I recommend is that you create a spreadsheet and you map out all the ones you want to enter into, put down the deadlines for each of those, make sure you qualify within their time frame, and then you can start with the ones whose deadlines are first, right? You don't have to enter them all at once. You can start with a few, just make sure that you're going to hit those deadlines for the ones that you definitely want to enter. If you're at the point in your audiobook journey where you actually haven't even produced your audiobook yet, but you're gathering this information, well done, for that moment when you're ready for it, then I want to highlight here, make sure that your audiobook production is top-notch. And the best way to do that is to work with a top-notch team who's going to help you make sure that your audiobook is top-notch. That can be author-narrated if that's the right choice for you, or it could be with professional narrators. Let's wrap up with one final call to action. If you are ready to start looking at audiobook awards and to consider entering some of those, then I would encourage you to pick one or more of those awards to start researching and to set yourself up with that spreadsheet so you have the deadlines and everything else. That will help organize you for the overall process. If you're early in the process and haven't got your audiobook produced yet, I encourage you in that case to come over to proaudiovoices.com and schedule a free discovery call so you can get a good idea on what it would cost to get your audiobook done in a really quality, award-winning way. And before I go, I just want to give you a short success story about one of our authors, Sheldon Collins, author of The Legend of Valentine. We did a full cast audiobook for him, and he entered the audiobook into the Audies, into the SOVAS Awards with multiple entries, which you can do with the SOVAS and with many of the other awards. And then also the Independent Press Award, New York City Big Book Award, the IBPA Awards that I mentioned as well. And we also entered for a Gracie Award for me as the producer and director. And we were honored as Best Audiobook Producer for the SOVAS Awards and also Best Audiobook Design for the SOVAS Awards. as well as winning the Independent Press Award for audiobooks, Best Audiobook, as well as the Gracie Award for the audiobook. So even though different team members were winning those awards officially with their name on it, the recognition for the author is still there. It's still attached to that audiobook. So you're really leveraging the talent of the entire team when you put your audiobook up for awards, which is pretty cool. What that's helped him do is to create a tremendous amount of press buzz with his marketing, as well as in press releases, as well as announcing to his email list all these different things, and to generate the kind of traffic to bring attention to his audiobook. And it is available on multiple platforms, including Amplify Audiobooks. That's where we encourage you to get your copy of The Legend of Valentine on Amplify Audiobooks, and to get your book, your audiobook, onto Amplify Audiobooks as well. Let's make it successful together. Thanks so much for joining me today. Thanks for joining us for Audiobook Connection, behind the scenes with the creative teams. Please take a moment to subscribe at audiobookconnection.com. The podcast is sponsored by Pro Audio Voices, helping great stories come alive through audiobook production and marketing. Learn more at proaudiovoices.com. Again, thanks for being with us, and please join us next week.